Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So it is, October's almost done. Although by the time this video gets put out, October will have been done. So happy November, happy turkey time, yay! But October was a busy month. Your boy was busy, booked and blessed, and I'm thankful for it. So between work and shows and drag gigs, I spent a lot of time in and out of town. I started a new tour, and I'm still continuing. I go back out of town tomorrow, and I'll be out of town for the rest of the week, which is why I want to try and get some of my recording done ahead of time so I could have some stuff to put out throughout the week, because normally when I'm on the road, the Wi-Fi is absolute crap in the hotels. It doesn't matter what hotel I stay in, and for whatever reason, if I'm staying on a high enough floor, my cell signal is absolute crap too, so that I can't even upload from my phone. So it's just a pain in the ass to try and upload stuff on the road. But yeah, I've been busy, and I've been enjoying myself. So between that and trying to run the 1,700 channels I have right now, your boy has been busy, but they're all labors of love, and I thoroughly enjoy my things. I'm going to try and keep this channel update video as brief as possible so I can get through some other recording that I need to do. I already spent a lot of time recording some vlog stuff that I'll talk about a little bit later in the video, that I did not intend to take as long as it did, but you know, such is life. But first things first, if you are one of my patrons, one of the changes I've been trying to use my Patreon a little bit more actively over the last couple of months. To give the people who are actually paying and supporting the channel something to look forward to other than just putting their name at the end of my video, giving them some sort of like advanced screening, whatever. So I've been a lot more heavily relying on my Patreon and just busting out reaction after reaction. There's lots of stuff that's sitting up there for early access, that will eventually make its way to YouTube at some point, but yeah, I've just been making use of that. So if you are over on Patreon, or if you're new to Patreon, or if you're considering joining Patreon, one of the ways I've been trying to keep things a little bit more organized is I have been implementing collections that I want to say that's a more of a recent feature that Patreon's enacted, where it's basically kind of like the playlists that I have here on YouTube, where I just basically have collections for every sort of big series that I've reacted to. So I've got a collection for all of my Untamed reactions. I've got collections for all my Word of Honor, for my His Man, for this, that, the other, for horror movies, for comedies, for romance movies, blah blah blah, and all that kind of stuff, so that you can kind of just find things easily rather than having to like search for one. If you want, you still have the ability to search for a particular video if you want to, but like if you want to just watch the entire set of those collections rather than having to like trace your way through all the hashtags, you can just find that collection. So, but now I've also added a fourth tier in between my base tier and the second level up. So now we've got our thankful tier at the bottom, followed by our stronger tier, followed by our my life would suck without you tier, and then meaning of life tier at the top. And they still have all the same benefits. The only difference is that third tier that I added in between my bottom and second tier has all the same benefits as the first tier. So you get all the access to all my videos, all the early access, blah, blah, blah. But you also get the ability to vote in my patron exclusive polls, which help us decide what series we're going to be diving into next on Patreon. And speaking of those polls, I put up the poll about 2.5-3 weeks ago, and this time I gave you guys the ability to vote for as many options on the poll. Last month I only let you guys vote for one, and you guys were like, oh, this is so hard to choose, and I had an idea going into this month, like, okay, based off of last month's poll and how those numbers played out, I can kind of guess what this month is going to be. And you guys just completely flipped that script. Now that you guys got the ability to vote for as many as you want, y'all voted, and the numbers were completely different from what I expected. I haven't checked it in a few days, but I don't think it's changed drastically. So the two series that got the highest number of votes were, fake drum roll, Vincenzo, which I did the first episode already, and our dining table, which I was surprised at, but pleasantly surprised because I thought that was just such an adorable, wholesome little series. The one episode I did see, and I wanted to dive back into it. I wanted to dive back into all of these series, but I don't have time to watch all of them all at once. So I was surprised because last month Doom at Your Service was in my second place spot. So I was certain that was going to be one of the top vote getters. And it was. I think that came in third this time, but by a pretty large margin. Well, not large, but in comparison to the number of votes, pretty large margin. So yeah, once I finish out the Untamed, then I will dive back into our dining room table. And then once I finish It's Okay Not to Be Okay, I will dive back into Vincenzo. I still want to continue Doom at Your Service, but I don't think I'm going to do it as consistently, I'll say, as the other two that have already won the poll. So like with The Untamed and It's Okay Not to Be Okay, basically I've been reacting to that relatively consistently, like at least 2 episodes a week, if not more than that, for the last few weeks, and just kind of working my way through. So I'm going to keep that same sort of production with the 2 that won the poll, and then Doom at Your Service. I think I'm going to throw that into the running too. So I might do maybe 1 episode a week or 1 every other week or something like that, until, so slowly work my way through that while I consistently work my way through the other 2 that won the poll. I don't know when those videos will make it over to YouTube, because as of right now, I think this week we released episode 37 of The Untamed to YouTube. So that's still another 13 episodes until the series is done as far as YouTube is concerned. So that's another 13 weeks of reactions. So I don't know when our dining room table and Vincenzo's reactions are going to make it to the YouTube scape, because yeah, that's still a lot. And as far as It's Okay Not to Be Okay, I think I've only gotten through like episode 2 on YouTube at this point, so there's still like 14 weeks of that too. So 13 to 14 weeks of that, each of those series. And then when it comes to The Love You Give Me, which is my Friday series, I'm at episode 14 now. I think there's 26, so that's like 12 episodes. So still, we're looking at a couple months, maybe, potentially, of those series before I can get some of those other ones over to YouTube. So then a question that I wanted to pose to you guys, and I think I'll put a poll over on the community tab of my channel to get a final tally, is to see what you guys would prefer me to do as far as my Sunday reactions. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays were my designated series. Mondays were The Untamed, Wednesdays were Unintentional Love Story, and then they recently switched over to It's Okay Not to Be Okay, and Fridays were The Love You Give Me, and then Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays were music reactions, and Sundays were kind of my wild card. So I could do a music reaction, or I could do a series reaction, or I could do both, or 2 of them, like whatever I really wanted. And what I've been doing the last few weeks has been kind of using my Sundays to push out some of the other series that I've already reacted to thus far that aren't on YouTube already. So like the last couple weeks, I've pushed out my reactions to Papa What Is Love, because that was a short series and easy for me to get through. And then the last couple weeks, I've also been pushing out The End of the World with You, those episodes on YouTube, because again, I've already finished those series as far as Patreon is concerned, and I'm just trying to get some of that stuff offloaded off Patreon and onto YouTube. So my question for you guys is, would you prefer on Sundays, which is my wildcard day, to continue to do what I'm doing and put out reactions to the other series that I'm not already reacting to during the week? Or would you prefer me to use those Sundays to put out extra reactions for, say, The Untamed, It's Okay Not to Be Okay, The Love You Give Me, to kind of get those through the YouTube pipeline a little bit faster? I'm fine either way. It doesn't matter to me, because either way, I've got an abundance of reactions just sitting in reserve on Patreon, waiting to just go public whenever they need to go public. So whether that's me just doubling up on the Untamed or doubling up on It's Okay Not to Be Okay or whatever throughout the weeks because of Sundays, or whether it's me just sticking to the schedule I have now and using Sundays to dive into some of the other series that we're not focused on during the week. So whether that's maybe Vincenzo or Doom at Your Service. I know you guys want me to get back into Boss and the Babe, Triage, The Glory, Gen Y, the series is one that I recently dove into, and a bunch of others. So again, I'll put up a poll. You guys can let me know. But to reiterate the question, do you guys want me to use Sundays to continue to put out additional series in addition to the ones we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Or do you want me to use Sundays to double up on the series that we put out Monday, Wednesday, Friday so we can get through those faster? Another question I had for you guys is, and I guess I can put up another poll about this too, is when it comes to some of the Korean series that I've been reacting to. I think I made mention of it either in last month's channel update video or the month prior. But I've started a number of new Korean series on the channel over on Patreon. And the Korean series are really the only ones that have given me an abundance of consistent sort of heartache when it comes to this channel and having stuff removed or blocked or stricken. And I've received cautious advice from some of my other content creators who've also encountered or have heard of people who've encountered issues with the Korean publishing companies coming after their channels. And I've already had that happen when I was reacting to The Director Who Buys Me Dinner. They not only went after videos that were on my YouTube, they actually went to Patreon and had Patreon remove my posts from Patreon because of reactions, because I have them free and open to the public. So because of that, and I've also had issues with semantic error, which I'll also get into that as well a little bit later. But because of how consistently I've had issues with the Korean companies coming for my channel as well as coming for other people's channels, I've decided to make the new Korean series that I react to patron exclusives. So I have them locked behind the Patreon paywall, but they're open to the very bottom tier, which is $1. And I've said it from the beginning, my goal for Patreon has never really been to make money. It's just been kind of a placeholder for videos that I couldn't put on YouTube because of them getting blocked or copyright claimed or anything, something like along those lines. So like, making money is not really the goal for my Patreon. I love it. Like, yes, I love money. Please give me money. I love it. But that's not the goal for my Patreon. It's never really been the goal for my Patreon. But in light of those sort of actions coming from the Korean companies, I would really like to not have my channel taken down. I would really like to not lose my channel, because at this point, November will be, I think, my 5-year anniversary. 5 or 6 years. I don't remember right now. I'll look later. But I've been doing this for quite some time. I've built up quite a catalog of reactions, and I would like to not lose all of that just because some Korean company saw that I put my reactions up for free, and they're like, no, we can't have that. So my question to you guys is for those newer Korean series that I unfortunately cannot make for free on Patreon right now, as you know, as a cautionary measure, would you prefer to just not have me put YouTube edits, preview edits on YouTube? Because I've done that with It's Okay Not to Be Okay and His Man and Boys Planet, where I spend so much time. These YouTube edits take forever. Like, me just editing a reaction, I can do that in like 20-30 minutes. That's not a big deal for me. But whenever I have to do an actual YouTube edit where I've got to remove this, that, the other, do all these zooms and whatnot just to try and avoid copyright and this, that, the other, it takes 3 to 4 times the amount of time. I will spend hours, if not days, trying to get a decent YouTube edit down, because I still want to have enough of the episode in there so that people watching still feel like they got a good enough experience. But also I'm trying to keep some of it out there so the the companies don't come claiming and striking this, that, and the other. But I've seen a number of people in the comments section on those YouTube edits that I've worked very hard on say things along the lines of, well, I guess I can't go along on this journey because I don't have Patreon, or oh, you guys have fun because I can't do this, that, the other. And I'm sitting there like, I worked really hard on this YouTube edit, and the YouTube edit pretty much has the majority of my reaction. Because if you've watched my full reactions to anything, if the episode is an hour long, I'm not sitting there the entire hour saying stuff the entire time. There's a lot of dead time with me just sitting here watching. I might smile, but there's a lot of dead time of me just watching, and I'll make whatever witty comment or whatever, and I'll go back to watching. I'll make whatever comment, I go back to watching, but there's a lot of dead time that happens in these reactions. So for the YouTube edit, a lot of it, I cut out a lot of that dead time, and I kept in basically my running commentary. I kept in all of the parts where I'm saying something funny or criticizing something or whatever, like all of that stuff. I kept it in and just cut out a lot of the me staring at the video, not saying, not really doing anything. I cut that stuff out because I'm not doing anything. It's not really terribly fun to watch. So as far as the YouTube edit goes, you're not missing an abundance of reaction stuff. And then you still have all of my commentary there at the end. But again, I can understand where the frustration comes in, because I've set a precedent over the years where I just make everything free and open to the public. And I've left the series that I had already started, the Korean series I started already, and they've already been free and open to the public, whatnot. I've left them. I thought about making them locked behind the Patreon paywall too, just as another precautionary measure. But at this point, like, they've been open to the public for years at this, and they've been fine. So I'm gonna leave them alone. They're some older series and whatnot, so I'm gonna leave them alone and just hope for the best. But with these newer ones, I don't want to take that risk. I don't want to take that chance. So my question for you is, would you prefer me just not make the YouTube edits and just not say, hey, this is what's on Patreon? Or would you prefer me to continue to make the YouTube edits? Because if you don't want me to put the YouTube edits out there because you can't watch the full thing for free over on Patreon, which again, I get, okay, cool. But if you don't want to see the YouTube edits because you can't watch the whole thing for free, that's fine. Just let me know, because again, me making the YouTube edits, it takes such a long time. It is such a long, exhaustive process. And if I don't have to do that, I would prefer to not. I could spend that time just watching other things or editing other things and whatnot. So if I don't have to make the YouTube edits, then I won't make the YouTube edits. But if you want me to continue to make the YouTube edits, then let me know and I will continue to make them. But it's just a little frustrating when I spend so much time trying to find that balance of keeping in as much content as I can, but also not putting too much in at the risk of getting copyright struck, just to have people just write off my efforts. Like, okay, well, I can't watch this whole thing for free, so I'm just not going to be along for this journey. Bye, guys. And it's just like, it's a little frustrating. So you guys can let me know, and we'll see how that fares. Let's see what else is on my to-do list. A couple weeks ago, I was just getting ready to get back into my semantic error reading videos over on my other channel, Everything Topher, when I got an email that some company has claimed that in their video, their content was there and they had all of my reading videos taken down. And thankfully, it was all done under one copyright strike versus like strike for each video. Thank the Lord for small favors. So that channel is now sitting on one copyright strike, and all of those reading videos have now since been taken down. And I did some Googling on the company. I forget what the company's name is, but there have been a lot of content creators that have been bitten by this particular company. Anyway, those videos got struck and taken down. So I won't be diving back into those set of reading videos. If I do, they'll have to be stuff that I put over on Patreon, and then just maybe have just an audio version on YouTube without the actual visuals going along with it. That's the only thing I can think that was being struck. The fact that I was showing some of the actual visuals from the graphic novel, although they were available for free on the internet, so whatever. So yeah, a couple months ago I mentioned, and when I did my last cushion giveaway, when I gave away my Kelly Clarkson themed cushion and my SB19 themed cushion, I said that all of my giveaways at that point had been music based. They've all been artists that I've reacted to on the channel, and I hadn't really done anything for my BL fandom. So I wanted to do something focused on them, and I asked you guys what are some suggestions for BL themed cushions that I can design and, make happen. And I got lots of great suggestions. I narrowed it down to 5 suggestions, and then today I was gonna do all 5 of them, and I got through 3 of them, and I'm like, oh my god, this is taking too long. We're just gonna do three this month, and we'll just do the other 2 some other time. So the 3 cushions that I ended up designing today, which I recorded my whole process, and I'm going to make that into a vlog over on my other channel, Everything Topher. So if you want to see that process, you can join us over there. But the 3 cushions we have are my Untamed / Word of Honor collage. We also did the history series collage, so ships from all throughout history. And then the last one I did was my favorite Filipino series collage. So that includes Game Boys, Guy Sa Pelikula, and Hello Stranger. So if you would like to enter for a chance to win any of those cushions, the link to the Google form will be down in the description, as well as over on the community tab of my channel. And basically all you need to do is just enter your name, whether that's your screen name or your real name, I don't care, which cushion you would like to potentially win, and some means for me to contact you if you are the winner, whether that's a social media handle, an email address, or whatever it is. You can enter as many times as you want for as many cushions as you want, and I will announce the winners in my December 2023 reaction video, just in time for the holiday season. So again, all that information will be down in the description, as well as over on the community tab of my channel, so you can enter. And I think that's all of the things that I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to stop talking. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Check out the community tab for those other polls that I mentioned in this video, as well as just other commentary that you can make. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.